Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to tell the epic story time that I promised you from earlier in the week. And it's not easy for me to tell this story time. This might not be as, sensational as I usually am, but we'll see. So I had a really devastating experience in Japan, and it's my personal experience. This is something that I would say is atypical because most of the people who come to Japan, they come and they live in the cities. They live in Tokyo, Osaka, they live in the big two or three, Nagoya. I was way outside of that. I lived in the countryside. I was, if this gives you any indicator about how far out I was, it took me about 45 minutes to get to an airport. I was in the cut. So this is what happened, you guys. I was normal. It was a normal sunny day. Actually, it wasn't. It was pouring down rain, right? But I wanted to get up. I was like, had cabin fever. So I got up and I said, oh, I'm going to take the kids to go get some clothes. So I go to this discount baby store. I forget what it's called, but because of course everything leaves your mind when you start doing a video. But I went to this discount baby store. I took all three kids. Momo was the youngest. I don't think she was one yet. Okay, that's how young they were. And so I got in a car, and we have like this big van. It's not like the kidnapping van. It's not that big, but it's, you could seat about 8, I think, in this van. So anyway, we're driving, take the kids there successfully. They're acting crazy as normal because they're babies. And then I come back, and as I'm driving, my heart is really already starting. Okay, so I come back, and as I'm in the intersection, I'm waiting to make my turn. I'm at the light, and I'm waiting to make my right. As I'm getting ready to make my right, I turn the car, and out of my peripheral, I see a woman coming down into the intersection on a bike. And I figure, okay, she doesn't have the light, and it's an intersection. Who doesn't stop in an intersection? So I go ahead and keep making my turn. And I see her coming closer and closer and closer. And then in my mind, it clicked. I was like, oh my God, she's not going to slow down. Sure enough, as I'm almost out of the turn, I almost missed her. She crashes into the side of the van. Y'all, the crunch that you hear when somebody hits your car is devastating. I was so scared and so shocked. I had completely skipped over those emotions. I had now gone into survival mode. Like, I didn't get crazy. I didn't get scared. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I was just dead inside because I was like, if that lady doesn't get up from that bike and you killed a Japanese person, child, you going to jail. I just completely went into survival mode. So my mind went blank. I didn't have any emotions. I stopped the car on the side of the road in a safe place that wouldn't block traffic. I still got my 3 kids in the car. 2 in car seats. 1 is out of a car seat. And I get out the van. I see that the lady is alive. Thank God. Okay. So that calmed me down a little bit more. So she was alive. So the bike was unharmed. I didn't see any blood. I asked her, and this is all in Japanese. I asked her, hey, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. What happened? You didn't slow down. You didn't stop. I saw you, but you didn't stop. And so other Japanese people started to collect. And thank God I didn't get the whole, Gaijin-san, you did a horrible thing experience. Everybody was really friendly, really kind, just trying to help me figure out the situation. So I knew better than to move her. Okay, this lady was like 1,000 years old, y'all. And she was riding her bike in the pouring down rain. Old ass lady, and there's no way she could have stopped. Even if she had stopped, she probably would have slid because it was wet. It was pouring down rain. She had on a raincoat. So all of this, thank goodness the rain had stopped for some reason. It must have been God. And so everybody comes over and they're trying to help her up. And then one guy says, can you get up? He tries to help her up. She stumbles. She couldn't get up. And that's when everybody was like, yo, chill. You need an ambulance. So obviously I speak Japanese well enough to call an ambulance, but I didn't want to take any chances with my accent or whatever. So I asked, I used my Japanese to ask another person, could you call an ambulance? And they were like, sure, whatever. So I let them use my phone. They called an ambulance. Ambulance came, police came, and like I said, everybody was really, really kind. I had been living in this town at this point for 3 years, I think. 3.5 years. Everybody knew me. I was local. I'm the only black person in this town. So they knew who I was, at least the local people. So they came over, the police. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. This is where you want to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. This is where you want to subscribe, because this is where the story gets crazy. The police start questioning me, and they are trying to coerce a confession. They're like, you hit her, didn't you? You ran into her. I was like, what? I said, no, that's not what happened. The lady, and I explained to them, I'm in my turn, and the lady, she didn't stop in the intersection, and she crashed into the back of my van as I was completing my turn. I explained this over and over again. It was real Mayberry, y'all. It was real, and I don't mean any disrespect. Full reveal, my family is actually part of the police force. Maybe that's why I'm never getting arrested. But my family is a police family. But it was real Mayberry. Like, they didn't know how to collect evidence. They didn't know how to question me. They didn't know how to take statements. My car was, my passenger van, right, that I transport the kids in, was real dinged up, because this is the van that my family uses to haul. This is the van that my husband was using to go back and forth, and he DJs. Like, this is all runaround van. So it was a little dinged up, scratched up, paint, whatever. And they were looking at the van, they were inspecting the van, and they're like, oh, this is where you hit her. I said, the bike is not damaged. Like, it's not that deep. If I hit, listen, that lady was 1,000 years old, y'all. If I had hit that lady with my van, my big ass, low-key kidnapping van, had I hit her, she would have been dead. Like, if I hit her head on, she would have been dead, even in a slow turn like that. So the most that happened was, like I said, she hit just the slight edge of the van and fell down. The main point is that she fell down. That's how she got hurt. It turns out that she had broken her wrist. I think she had broken her leg. And all of this time, I was just like, Lord, please don't let them take me to jail. I have 3 children. So at that point, I said, listen, I have 3 kids in the car. Let me call my husband, have him come, maybe translate, clear things up a bit for you, because you keep trying to make me say that I hit this lady and I didn't hit her. So my husband comes, he clears it up. He's like, yo, this is my last name, blah, blah, blah. Because my last name is not on my license or my passport. We moved to Japan so abruptly, I couldn't transfer my last name, which I don't want to say it hurt me. It didn't hurt me at all, but it would have helped had they seen a Japanese last name. Okay? So once they found out who my family was and where I lived and everything, they let me go. After that, it was this trail of classes and paperwork and this and that. You guys, my license was suspended, and you got to remember, if you watch my video about how I got my license in Japan, it was so hard to get my license in Japan. This was a death blow to me. I had worked so hard, and now I have my license suspended. I had to pay a fine that was around 2,000 US, and then on top of that, I'm scared to drive. I'm not confident. I feel like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. You in these people's country causing trouble, like you almost killed one of them. I really went into myself. I did not sleep that night. I did not sleep many nights. I cried. I felt inadequate. I felt guilty. I felt horrible. And mom, I told mom, not only that, it was the embarrassment, right? So I told mom knew, everybody found out. It was the embarrassment of having to go back to my family and say, yo, I hit somebody, an old ass lady. And mom, God rest her dead, she was just so eloquent and just so poised and just a woman with so much class and distinction. She said, these things happen. You're a foreigner. You're not